So I just want to briefly talk about the fight between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. I believe that Deontay Wilder redeemed himself significantly in this fight um, because, one, he had a game plan. Did he stick to the game plan all the way through? No, but he had a game plan. And it worked all the way up to the seventh round. I think somewhere near the end of the seventh round, things turned around. But he was a live dog all the way up to the 10th round, the 11th round. Tyson Fury stopped him. Kudos to Tyson Fury. That jab of Tyson Fury was a big factor in this fight. Deontay Wilder started off with the jab to the body, was working the body, and sort of abandoned the jab to the body after he had success. Now, there were 5 knockdowns in this fight. 5 knockdowns. And so Tyson Fury started the ball off by knocking down Deontay Wilder in the 4th round. And then Deontay Wilder came back and knocked down Tyson Fury twice in the 4th. And then in the 11th round, Deontay Wilder was knocked down twice. The second time, the referee called the fight. Deontay Wilder was still trying to get it back up, but the referee called the fight off. Incredible fight. Much more than I expected. I told you guys I expected some knockdowns. I expected the fight to go the distance, though. But in this case, that fight wasn't going the distance. It was a much better fight than the second fight that happened. At a certain point in time, them guys was just fighting. They wasn't even they weren't even using jabs or anything. It was just a straight up fighting each other. I think I was in the 6th round. They were just throwing bombs at one another. Wilder was affected by Tyson Fury's weight, and that's why he should have been jabbing more to the body. He should have used the jab a lot more. He was winded and tired because Tyson Fury was putting his weight down on him. Tyson Fury obviously was the bigger guy in there, and he imposed himself as the bigger guy in that fight, which is why he was able to wear down Deontay Wilder. But Deontay Wilder is a phenomenal puncher, as we all know, and he was able to punch his way out of certain situations for a bit. Got to say, though, I really like both guys. I hope Deontay Wilder's okay. I'm pretty sure he is. He's a tough guy. I don't think he'll ever face an opponent like Tyson Fury ever again. I mean, he faced the best heavyweight in the heavyweight division. So if there's any question about Tyson Fury being the best heavyweight in the heavyweight division, now is no question about it. He is. So the only things that we could sort of fault Deontay Wilder for was that he abandoned the jab to the body, which would have really changed the tone of the fight and allowed him. He should have stayed with jabbing to the body. After he knocked down Tyson Fury twice, he kind of started to load up on the right hand and just went right hand happy, left hook, right hand happy. And I think that took him out the fight. I think if he had set it up more with his jab, he would have pushed Tyson Fury back a little bit more, because Tyson Fury started to infight him and started to push his weight down on him and push him to the ropes. And he, under no circumstances he should have been in clinches like that. He should have tried to get himself out of it. But again, it's a learning experience. And, Malik Scott's only been with him for one fight. He did exceptionally and significantly better than the fight before that. Tyson Fury thought he was going to smoke him out. It went 11 rounds. And Wilder was very durable, and he was still dangerous all up to the 11th round. I thought he was losing steam in his punches, and then all of a sudden he just teed off on Tyson Fury. So he actually, at the end of the 10th round, he had teed off on Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury was in trouble. So this was an ebb and flow kind of fight. At any point in time, Wilder was dangerous. Tyson Fury was winning the fight by points, but nobody really cared. It was a very exciting fight. And first of all, mad props to Deontay Wilder on a significant improvement in his boxing. I still think he snaps back a little too much, and he was circling sometimes the wrong way towards Tyson Fury's power hand. But nonetheless, I thought that his jab, his body work was great, and he was wearing down Tyson Fury. I wish he had done more of that. Of course, he's going to look back at the fight and learn a lot from it. I hope he still keeps Malik Scott as his trainer if he's going to continue in boxing, which I think he will. I think there's a lot to learn from that experience of fighting Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury is a big, 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 big dude, though, and he has a lot of power in his pop. People say he's not a power puncher. He's not really a power puncher. Like, Wilder's shots actually hurt Fury more than Fury's shots, but Fury knew how to defensively handle Wilder's shots. And he took them a lot better, but, Fury being 30-something pounds heavier than Wilder, I mean, what do you expect? And Wilder did do weight training and stuff to bear the weight of Fury, but it wasn't enough. He needed to use that jab and stay behind his jab a lot more. I think if he had done that, he'd be even more in the fight than he was. And he might have lost the fight by points, but he would have made it to the finish line, definitely. But it is what it is. It's a learning experience, and, you live to learn. But he needed to understand he was a smaller guy in there, and you can't have the bigger guy weighing down on you. And even though the referee was trying to limit that, it was having a serious impact. You can see Tyson Fury taking over the fight because he was the bigger guy and he was weighing down on Wilder. Now, I don't want to hear nobody saying that Tyson Fury is a cheater. I don't want to hear nobody saying that Tyson Fury is this or that. In this fight, he did not cheat. In this fight, he legitimately beat Deontay Wilder to prove once again. He had to do it 3 times to prove that he beat Deontay Wilder. So all those people who are Deontay Wilder fans, I'm a Deontay Wilder fan. I understand Tyson Fury won fair and square. But I give Wilder mad props because it's not easy to beat a guy like Fury. It's just not. It's not. And I predicted this fight from way out because I knew Fury had beaten him twice. I knew he was going to try and sweep him the third time. But Fury thought he was going to get Wilder out of there much sooner. It turned out that Wilder got him, knocked him down, had him hurt a couple times in the fight. It was a great fight. These two guys are great fighters. I hope they become friends, and I hope they help one another in their careers and stuff. If Fury give Wilder a couple of tips and stuff. If Fury ever leaves the sport of boxing, I think the next best heavyweight in the whole entire heavyweight division is Deontay Wilder. I think so. And he's growing by leaps and bounds, and I just hope he sticks with Malik Scott and sticks with the team and works. Of course, this loss is going to devastate him because he has a desire to win, but I don't think it should devastate him too much. Let him heal back up, take his time, and work with Malik Scott on furthering, expanding himself. And the next fight, ensure that he wins that one. He gets the W. But, lots of heart, lots of balls by Deontay Wilder to take on Tyson Fury in an immediate rematch, which he wanted, and he got it. Came up short. It was a pretty brutal fight. He took a lot of punishment, so he needs to heal back up and all of that. But ultimately, in the end, he fought his heart out. He was like a true warrior, like a true gladiator in the ring. He went all out. And hopefully, this does something to help his career and not hinder it. That his career is not wrecked or anything like that. That he's not devastated to the point where he doesn't continue boxing. It's a beautiful sport, and he should still continue doing what he's doing. Just that there's just one guy that he was not able to beat, and that's okay. In boxing, that happens. It's part of the sport. So, as for Tyson Fury, what can I say? I knew this guy was special, and he was gifted, and we could see it in him, and he proved it, and he proved it without a doubt. The guy's a generational fighter. He comes from a whole line of guys who fought, so it's not surprising. But having said all of that, I do hope that, because I like Deontay Wilder. Like I said, I like Deontay Wilder. I hope that Deontay Wilder will, after he heals up and everything, get back into boxing and to continue as the Bronze Bomber to be successful at what he does. So that's what I'm looking forward to. This is what you need in the building. Now I was watching at a couple fights, Frank Sanchez versus Efe Ajaba. I watched at what's the kid's name? The Puerto Rican kid from New York, and he faced an Argentinian guy. That was a good fight as well. He got dropped for the first time in his career. We'll talk about all those things later on, and I think we also will talk about Liam Smith's win, his TKO win over Anthony Fowler. So all of that we will talk about. Oh, J. Rock Williams also lost to Vladimir Hernandez, I think is the guy's name, the guy that beat Alfredo Angulo. So we're going to talk all about that and more tomorrow, or later on, shall I say, today, Sunday, the 10th, I believe it is now, 10th of October. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about, but tonight, I'm sleepy. I need to go in my bed and take a rest. It was a good night of boxing. Hopefully the pay-per-view did well, and hopefully those guys get paid a ton load of money, and everybody's happy. I'm gonna catch you guys later. What you need, out.